Hey everybody, it is Tuesday. It is a food prep day. Excuse me. Eliana was up all night last night. She was complaining of an earache, and then I gave her some Tylenol just to give her some relief, some children's Tylenol. Since it's, pain reliever, fever reducer, she wasn't running a fever, but I wanted to alleviate some of the pain. We tried peroxide with water in her ear. We tried putting a wet cloth over her ear. I made sure it was warm so it was comfortable, and she just doesn't like wet stuff like that when she's sick. Like, she's only had like a fever once in her life. Putting a wet washcloth on her forehead is just like it. Good luck trying to get her to tolerate that. So she went to school this morning because she had no fever, and she's had some allergy issues like recently. So, we were like, okay, let's see how she does throughout the day. She's got no fever. It's just a slight earache. Let's see how she does. And she made it an hour. She's home now. So they are hanging out in the living room. I am going to chop up some, my stand is not level. I'm going to chop up some potatoes since it is food prep day, so that way I can get those roasted in the oven and just start cycling through things. So I'm going to roast some potatoes. I've already got my pesto rice prepped. I have some squash that is getting spots, so this needs to be chopped up today. How's the other one? The other one's good, so that one will be able to stay for a little while. Sorry, I am up in your face, but I'm trying to put it on the Lazy Susan, so it's kind of out of the way. All right, so I just pulled, let me turn it a little bit. I just pulled my baby out of the cabinet, so I'm just gonna make sure it's wiped off. It is well loved from cookies and rolls and whatever else that I actually cook on those. So let me go ahead and chop these up. Let me get them in a bowl. So I need a bowl to put these so I can mix them up. And I will mix them with olive oil, some basic herbs, like salt, pepper, oregano, garlic powder. I might throw some diced onion, some dehydrated diced onion in there. We'll see. I'll just run with it and just kind of might put some rosemary. Just see like how the smell hits me and what I'm in the mood for. And I know this isn't the right knife for this, but it's just what's clean right now. I have to do dishes. And I'm like lazy chopping right now. I don't know why my pinky's sticking up. Sometimes it just does that. I say it's the English in me. This one still has a little bit of dirt on it. Sometimes when you rinse your potatoes, there's one that gets kind of down towards the bottom. And some of these are just spots, not dirt, but it had a little bit of dirt stuck in one of the little nooks and crannies. So I'm just cutting them into quarters. I don't know if you guys remember these potatoes. Let's see if you can look at those while you watch me chop. The yellow potatoes are the ones that we pulled out of our garden. We have our second planting of potatoes going, and they are already, 3 feet tall? And you can tell flowers are starting at the top. So that gives me hope. All of these baby red tomatoes, yeah. Sounded like my kids. These baby red potatoes, any of them that had sprouted, I put into a paper bag to let grow and start for next spring. Oops. So these are all things that you can do even if you don't have a large area. I decided for my second planting of potatoes to take up some room in my raised bed for them. I'll have to go outside and get some footage of that for you guys soon. But today we're going to do cooking, so I'm not going to worry about that. Super little ones, I just half them. But this planting was, it was just, what, one potato that grew, maybe two, because they got blight early and the plants just died off. So nothing grew from the potatoes themselves, you know, nothing grew from the tubers. So I really only had one that kind of grew, and then one that started to grow, which I think was all of these really little ones. And then all of these sizable ones were all on one. So we got hit hard with that. However, I am trying to not give up on just, you know, or not give up by just having a, you know, a spring and summer garden. You can grow many things in the fall. So I want to make sure that I take full advantage of all the growing time that I have. All right, so I'm going to take a towel and put it over the yellow potatoes that I still have on that bowl because my cats seem to think that they are toys, and I find them all over the house. So this is a good amount of potatoes. I am going to give them one more rinse. I did find that one that had a little bit of dirt on it, so this just kind of gives me a little bit of assurance. Does a quick starch rinse, really doesn't do anything because I'm not soaking them. But then I will add the other ingredients to it as well. Don't mind my dirty sink, but I am going to, or filled with dirty stuff sink. Basically just enough water to cover the potatoes for the most part. Water is not flowing crystal clear out of there. So, ooh. Cutting with a sword with that. So I love this olive oil decanter. And yes, I know the potatoes are now wet, and I'm putting oil on them, and I know oil and water do not mix, and all that fine glory, but it'll be fine. I'm getting down to the end of this jar of oregano. So some of the pieces are not quite super broken down. So now we have to really quick. I'm just using the handle of this. Just gonna see what I'm doing. Just kind of smooshing the leaves up a little bit. There's some stem in there, not much. That allows me to get. All I did was add the olive oil and the oregano. Now I'm going to add some pink sea salt. And some cracked black pepper. I love these jars. I got these years ago at Walmart, and I just open up and I refill them. So then I just buy the bulk stuff and I'm good to go. All right, let's see what I want to do. Maybe some smoked paprika on this time. Especially on the reds, the added red color is nice. I don't know, maybe it's just me. Of course, garlic. Make them extra garlicky. And then, like I said, I'm also going to add a little bit of minced onion. I don't have a spatula. Oh my goodness. Just mix it all together. And because everything's coated in olive oil, I can just pour it right onto the pan. always like to scrape what's in the bowl out, because that's a lot of flavor that you'd be missing otherwise. I watch other people make videos and they scrape something onto a pan or into a dish and they leave so much sauce or whatever behind, and I cringe and I'm like, no, all that flavor. And then sometimes they just leave food in there. I understand they're just trying to hurry up and get things done, but like I am like, need all that. All that's gonna like roast up and crisp up. And all right, so my oven is set to 350. I slide that into the middle of the oven. Ooh, hot. And then I'm gonna set the timer for 30 minutes. So while that goes in the oven, I'm just gonna do a quick rinse of what I just used, in case they're still finishing up their snacks, their Dixie wet food snacks from yesterday. I told you it'll take them a few days. Let's see what I can put in the dishwasher and then what I'm going to prep next. So next I'm going to start soaking those chickpeas. So I will take these and I will add water. So I just add cold water. Doesn't have to be. Okay, so these will soak in here until I'm ready to use them. So I'll soak them until tomorrow, and I'll probably make the pot pie tomorrow. And I'll put them in the fridge. So that was easy. And then I always try to remember to refill containers, but I do have a big canning jar way up top. I'm not going to fight to get to it now, so I'll do that later. The smell coming from the oven, like I wish smell-o-vision was a thing because it smells amazing. So next is going to be cooking this butternut squash. So for this, I need to cut the ends off. I need to cut it in half. So I'll cut the end off here. I'll cut it off here. I will cut this bad spot out. You know, I'll half it. I'll cut the seeds out. And the seeds, I will probably save. I'm trying to save everything that I can for seeds just because you never know. Because I try to cut off as little as possible, I know some people won't agree with me, but I use a steak knife because I just feel like I get the best cut with it, and I take off as little as possible. The bottom is going to be a little bit harder to cut out like that, so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to cut around this soft spot, giving it a little bit of room in case the flesh around it is kind of soft, like right there. And then when I pull it out, I make sure that all of the flesh that I cut isn't rotting or anything, so I know the chances of getting sick are less likely. And because I already have that open, I'm just going to go around and cut it like this. And even though that's missing a chunk, I might do something stuffed with that. Who knows? All right, let's just show enough. I can just use the knife. There's a seed in there, But I'll just focus on saving the main bit of seeds. Look! They started growing inside the squash. Or, yeah. Go get Sissy so she can come look. Sometimes this happens. Usually you see it with like tomatoes, not with squash. But it's a cool learning experience for the kids. And that also means I'm going to cut that other squash up rather than wait. Just because it doesn't have a soft spot doesn't mean it's not also trying to grow. Look, the seeds started growing. They got leaves and everything. So that's going to go out into compost. I'm going to just put all that straight out into compost. That's okay, my hands are already juicy.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, and this is doing the same. So I'm glad that I decided to cook these up.
That's a big giant spoon.
It is.
Say hello to the vlog.
Yeah, sure, get on the other side of me.
Hi. Stick out here.
Yeah, I told them you were
No,
home.
dear. Her ear. Gotta sit down. Since I go pick from it. Get ready. Kindergarten school.
Alright, camera's calling you. Thank you so much for saying hi to the vlog.
Okay. I got it.
Make it easier on myself, not worrying about stuffing anything. Just putting it in here, cooking it. I'll peel it all, I'll mash it all, and I'll be good to go. So that's the food prep I'm gonna get done right now. I have a lot more to do, obviously. I have 16 minutes left on the potatoes. Oh, they smell and look amazing. So in that next little bit, I'm gonna go ahead and sit down, get a little bit of my other business work done, hydrate, because I need to hydrate, and yeah, I'll see you back when the timer starts going off. So there's 5.5 minutes left on the timer. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna grab a fork and see if they're done. Let that initial burst of heat come out, because whew. And they're not going in super easily. Oh, look at this right here. Some of them are sticking just a little bit, but you know what? Whatever. What, baby?
Please like those soap and rinse them off and make sure they're extra clean.
Okay, I'll be right there. I'm gonna try one of the really little ones.
Go.
So the little ones were just about done. They were still a little tough. That's why I stab them with a fork. If they go right in, they're perfect. That one took a little fighting, a little pressure. So I put another 15 minutes on them. Definitely burned my mouth a little bit, but it was so good. So I'm gonna see what the kids are up to, because they've been using that bathroom water for like 2 to 3 minutes. And I want to make sure they're not making a mess in there. So they were cleaning their doctor tools. That's fine, because they like to put things in their mouths and do all that. So this has got another 14 minutes now. This is warming up. Ooh, it's hot on the outside of this, but it's starting to fog up. So that's warming up, which is fantastic. So there's 11 minutes left. I am gonna cook up a burger for myself to eat. So I'm going to cook that up. I might have some of the potatoes with it. I will probably chop up some cucumber. I need to eat, you know, the foods that are in the house. The squash, we'll have some with dinner. I'll probably have some of that with butter and the pesto rice, and who knows, we'll see. So these potatoes came out amazing. I love all this burnt. All the herbs. So delicious. So I'm going to take some of these and put them in a container for future meals. And then I'm going to take some and add them with some mayonnaise on my plate. And then the veggie burger. Let me show you what veggie burger I am having today. Potatoes, all the burnt stuff on top of that pile of mayonnaise. I don't know how my body's going to be with mayonnaise. I haven't had mayonnaise in a long time. So I'm going to try something today. That's going to be my risky behavior. And I use the one with olive oil anyways, so I feel like it's a little bit better. Alright, I'm going to have one of these before my burger's ready. Oh yeah, mayonnaise on the bottom. So good. I want to be able to eat some of that with the burger though, so. Okay, so I did mix the potatoes with the mayonnaise a little bit. And this is that burger. Kind of put it in half. It's hot, so it's delicious. Alright, time for me to have lunch. So the squash is done. As you can see, I stabbed it with a fork. I've been blasted. Poked it with a fork, it went in just fine, so that is done. Oops, I landed up by looking at it, not through the camera. Lots more dishes to wash. What is this? Dark apple syrup. What could I possibly have put that on? A giant strawberry oatmeal cookie. What? It's kind of how it turns out when I make it. Usually I make it with other fruit, but I figured maybe it was strawberry for this time. Basically what I do is I just take oats, whatever sugar source I want, which is the dark apple syrup that is homemade. And then I'll add some sort of fruit, and then I add some water, and that's usually it. Oh, and cornstarch. I do add a little bit of cornstarch. So I just mix that all together, and I kind of eyeball everything, and then I just bake it until the oatmeal's cooked and the strawberries are usually frozen, or the fruit's usually frozen. So we don't mind the fact that frozen fruit usually gets mushy when we make something like this. So that's going, and when that's done, we'll go ahead and eat it. I have 17 more minutes on the timer. Not sure if it's going to need 17 minutes, but I'm going to check it, and then if it needs more time, I will give it some more time. But right now I am going to, like I said, I turned this squash off. I'm going to unplug it. I'm going to let that cool down, And once it's cool, I'm going to peel it all. I'm going to mash it all together, or I might just peel it and put it in a container. That way, if I want some that's not completely mashed, I have some, like I'll put some in here that's not completely mashed up. We're making cheese quesadillas for the kids. Trying to use up some things in the house that just need to get used up. I have already packaged up a bunch of the stuff that's been prepped. So I have 2 meals here on my shelf. The chickpeas have already doubled in size in their jar. I've got extra squash, extra potatoes. Behind that I have my pesto rice, and I have a variety of veggie meats there. This is what's left of that strawberry bake that we made. They've still got some noodles in here, some other stuff. So that is where we're at as far as food prep for today. Not sure what vlog is going to be coming next. So as always, thank you so much for watching. And I guess hit subscribe because you're not going to want to miss what's coming next. The illusion is exciting, right? Hi, mister.